Hi everyone, happy Pride Month. So that means that this month we're remembering where our roots came from as LGBT people. It's really important that we remember why we celebrate Pride Month and that it's not just all like parties and everything, but a reflection on our history. The event that started the Pride movement is the raid on the Stonewall Inn, which was an early gay bar. It was a safe space for LGBT people to come together and to be open about themselves without fear of violence or judgment or whatever. The Stonewall Inn was raided by the police. Government at the time and the legal system were pretty homophobic, which then prompted a response from the LGBT community showing their support, like protesting outside the inn, coming together to start a movement of LGBT rights, which we're like so thankful for to this day. The Pride Month is just like a special month that we've set aside to commemorate what our community did for us in the way of liberation and activism, which has allowed us to become such the strong community that we are. So in light of this Pride Month season, I'm going to release several videos on like Pride topics. And I hope you enjoy. So in this video, as you will have seen from the title, I'm going to talk about my coming out experience. Important things to note. Hi, if you didn't know, I'm Ollie. I'm a trans guy, which means that I was born female and transitioned to male, and I'm still in the transition process. So when I'm like referring to myself in the past tense, it might be a bit confusing because to myself, to others all around me, I was female for a large period of time in my life. I'm now 22. I didn't realize that I was trans until I was like 18. So I have several coming out experiences, as you will see, just to explain so it doesn't get a bit too confusing. When I was 16, I came out as a lesbian, which makes me cringe because I never really liked that word anyway. I usually just went with the word gay because lesbian always felt, I don't know, just like weird and foreign, and now I know that's because I'm trans, and I don't like to be seen as a woman, so why would I want to be labelled as a lesbian? But I didn't know that at the time, I just didn't like the label, so I was a gay woman, essentially, and I came out at age 16. Before that, I was at an all-girls private school, which was a friendly environment, but also it was like a religious school, and from like the type of environment that it was and the type of comments that I would hear from other girls, I just knew that it wasn't the right time for me to come out as a lesbian. I knew I was attracted to girls. I wasn't ready to like admit it to myself or to my family or to my friends. So yeah, I didn't come out as a lesbian until I'd finished high school and had moved into a college which was like so much more diverse, like really massive. There were bound to be people that were accepting of all sexualities and whatever. So yeah, I came out when I was in college. I think what spurred me coming out was when my friends came out to me as bisexual, and my friend group were really supportive of her, so I knew that my friends would be supportive of me if I told them that I was into women as well. They were all really supportive. They were not surprised at all. I'll see if I can find a picture of how I was presenting at the time because it's hilarious to me that it was surprising to my family. So after I came out to my friends, I'm the type of person that doesn't like to hold secrets. I don't like to tell lies. So the weight of people at college knowing that I was gay, but my family didn't know, was getting to me. So I knew I just had to come out to them at some point. It was building up in me, but also my family is pretty religious, so there was that. You know. I'm also going to point out that the way that I came out to my family is not advisable at all. Because I'd like had it bottled up inside me for so long, I was just waiting for an excuse to just like blurt it out, and unfortunately for me that happened in kind of an argument setting, which I definitely would not recommend. It just created like added friction between me and my family. The fact that I told them that I was lesbian like mid-argument just it just kind of added to the punch of like, oh, I'm gay, also I'm angry. I just remember that like because of the shock, my brother had to leave the room. He didn't have an issue with me being gay, but it was a shock to him, so he had to leave. Me and my dad and my mum had a long discussion about it. Basically, what it boiled down to was that, one, my dad was just disappointed that I hadn't told them all at the same time, like that I told, because My mum wasn't in the room. It was just I came out to my dad first. I think he wanted me to sit them all and tell them nicely, but like he'd had an inkling because he'd been questioning me in like the car about boys, about it being weird that I hadn't been into boys at college, and I'm pretty sure he knew, but he was still upset nonetheless because I don't want to. I feel that I can't really talk about it without seeming like I'm shitting on religion, but religion played a large part in why they couldn't accept me for being queer. My parents had like in their heads they'd all planned out this life that they were gonna have as a straight daughter, and by me starting to date women, that would, I don't know, it was uncomfortable to my dad. He was very upset by it. He was just like he told me he was very saddened by the fact that I was gay. So it was quite upsetting to me that it would have such an impact, such like a negative impact on my family, whereas my friends were so accepting of it. And like from then on, like me and my dad didn't have the best of relationships. Like he didn't really want to talk to me. He found it very uncomfortable to be in the same room as me. It was just quite a hard situation to be in. I've never talked about this online before because I'm worried that my family will see this and be like upset that I'm talking about this online. But it is just like it's just a natural part of coming out, and I want to talk about it because like you hear about good stories all the time of people coming out to their parents and it all being fine and they're really supportive and stuff, but that just like wasn't the case for me. My mum came around to me being a lesbian eventually, but it wasn't, obviously that wasn't like the biggest issue because pretty soon after that I made it clear that I was questioning my identity in terms of gender. When I went to university, I came out as non-binary because I knew that I wasn't female, and that made the most sense to me at the time. It was kind of a stepping stone for me coming out as transgender. So I did tell my family that I was non-binary, but they're of a generation that doesn't really understand it. I didn't blame them for that because I wasn't very good at explaining it myself, to be honest, because I'm not non-binary. They didn't take that bit seriously, and neither did I. Really, I don't know. It was a short period of my life before I came out as FTM, as trans male. When I came out as trans man, that was a different coming out experience because I made sure to try and do it like casually, which worked. I told my brother that I thought I was probably trans. He just asked questions and I answered them and cleared things up for him, and he was supportive. So yeah, that was fine. I told my mum as well in a similar way, like, I think I'm probably transgender. Because, like, you don't know for sure, really. I don't know, like, you do know, but there's always that doubt that you're not right. So you have to take that into account as well. And she asked me some questions about it, made sure that I was sure, and I think it was quite tough on her. I don't know whether she took me seriously then or not, but definitely when I started hormones and she could like visibly see that I was much more comfortable in myself. That's what's made her come round to it, because my mum's really supportive of me now. She calls me Ollie. Struggles with pronouns, but recently she corrected herself on wrong pronouns, so that's good. It's tough with my dad because our relationship was damaged when I came out the first time, and we never really got back to that like father-child relationship. I don't know, we never really like repaired that damage because, well, I mean, like honestly, it's because he still is not comfortable with it. If it was as bad, because it made him so uncomfortable to see me in a relationship with a woman, like, I don't know, like, how do you expect him to be okay with me being transgender? I don't know, it's just, like, it's expected that he finds it difficult, because the whole, like, reasoning behind it is that he expected to have this, like, life with a daughter where he could support her growing up, marrying a man and getting married, having kids, like that life, and he's not going to get that. I don't really know how we're going to repair that damage. But I will say Now he makes an effort to not birth name me, which is really good because that was happening a lot. But I think it's just gotten to the point where if he was to call me a female name now, like looking like this, it just looks stupid if he was calling me a different name to what everyone else was calling me. But he makes an effort to keep in contact with me because I mean, I live away from home. So I don't think he'll ever see me as his son, which makes me sad. He uses like a childhood nickname of mine, which is it's a bit cringy because you can tell he's going out of his way to not use my name. Things also aren't good with some of my grandparents. I rang my granny to tell her that I was trans because I'd never told her that I was anything other than a straight female. And I'd started testosterone and my voice was dropping and she still called me regularly. So I felt that I had to update her because, I mean, it would just confuse her if my voice started dropping and she didn't know why and I'd not told her anything. So I felt that I had to talk to her about it. I told her that I was transgender. I asked her if she knew what it meant and she basically thought that I was a lesbian. I told her no, it's because I'm transitioning to be a male, and I don't think she really understood it because she was really supportive over the phone, but then afterwards when my mum spoke to her, she wasn't okay with it. When I wrote to her a letter explaining what I was going through and why I'd found it hard to talk to her before about it and stuff like that, but she never opened it because my name was on the envelope on the outside, so she saw Ollie and just decided not to open it, which was pretty hurt a little bit, because she's my granny, you know, she's supposed to just like love me, but my granddad found out through Facebook, I think, and sent me nasty messages, so I don't speak to him anymore. But my other granny is great. She doesn't care. She thinks it's quite interesting that I'm transgender. She was just like, oh, that's fun. She just doesn't care, so it's great. Anyway, this has been a really long and depressing video, so I'm going to stop it soon. But yeah, I will say that my life is so much better now from transitioning, and being able to be open with my mum about it has brought us closer together, I think. And seeing family members, like, become more comfortable with my identity over the years has been really encouraging and gives me hope for my family members who are less supportive to becoming more supportive. Please feel free to share your experiences down in the comments. I would love to hear from you if you have similar or different situations, because then I can relate or learn new things. Either way is good. I hope you're all well, and I will see you in the next video.